Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the BLACKPOOL FC Show, where we're doing a review of the week to come. And it's the eve of possibly the match that's going to seal Blackpool's fate, whether we're going to be in the playoffs or not. We need 1 point from this game. I'm just going to quickly go to a couple of comments. I see Adam Clark here. Let's put him up. Adam Clark says, Lee, we've done it. It's not a challenge. I don't think we should be scared of anyone. I believe we've done it. So it should be, can the fans bring out the champagne and say the playoffs, here we come. What are you on, Adam? We need 1 point. 1 point. Anything can happen. Yeah, you can't celebrate until it's, in my mind, until it's mathematically absolutely certain that we're in the playoffs. So, and we've got this team. I've got Aaron in with me, who is Forever Doncaster Rovers FC. Good evening, Aaron. He's got a nice Blackpool FC picture there behind him. I'm liking that. So you're wishing you were here tomorrow, I take it. Would it be a last away game, Aaron, tomorrow? Would it?
Yeah, last away game.
Fancy dress then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to look my best, and this isn't Blackpool Stadium. This is the Keepmoat Stadium because I want to feel.
Oh, the Keepmoat, yes. Oh, of course, it's the Keepmoat.
I want to feel at home during this stream because I know I'm going to get a load of home truths thrown my way today.
Yes, maybe. There's a few people waiting to give you pelters, I suppose. We are actually observing the online abuse thing, and we have been doing it over the weekend. So obviously, if anybody wants to, if anybody gets a little bit out of order, I won't accept that. But we can have a bit of banter with him. I have got a few clips to remind him of the things he said as well, which we will play in a minute. Hammy HD is here. Hi, Hammy HD. You're all right today. You can back anything you want. But Hammy HD was in my stream the other day, and he was saying, "Come on, Blackpool. I've got, you're on my coupon to win." And I hate it when people put bets on Blackpool and then come in my stream and tell me they have, because that's normally the kiss of death. But it didn't matter this weekend. We won. Will Brown says, where do you think we will finish? Will, I don't know really. I'm just going to settle for just being in the playoffs. But if we could finish third, that would be great and get home advantage in the second leg and maybe avoid Lincoln and Sunderland. But then again, I don't know. We can beat anybody in the playoffs, but we can also lose to anybody in the playoffs. So it could go either way. Oh, One Rovers Vlogs is here. Charlie, I tell you what, Charlie, you can come into the stream if you want as well, because we've got you as well, Bristol Rovers coming up. So let me know, Charlie, if you want a link, and you can come into the stream as well, and we'll talk to Bristol Rovers as well, because we've got them on the last day of the season. Ryan Dunbar says, Aaron, coaster child, Doncaster born, but built theme parks. Brilliant. Right, we're just going to remind people very quickly and remind Aaron of things that he said the last time he was on the show. If you remember, Blackpool had a very late pitch inspection and the game was called off and we were all unhappy about it. Aaron was very unhappy about it because you were playing quite well then as well, weren't you? So let's just have a quick recap on the things that Aaron said. So here we go. We'll just add these in.
Is that we've now got an extra couple of days to prepare for Ipswich for their battering on Saturday.
Yeah, so that was the first one. You were saying the one good thing to come out of this game being postponed was that you had an extra day to train and you're going to go down and batter Ipswich. That didn't quite work out the way you planned, Aaron, that one, did it? That's no Nostradamus there. You lost 2-1 at Ipswich. No. What happened with your extra day's training?
I think they were just admiring their own Instagram stories throughout the day. We were not at the races during that game, and the weird thing is, there's reports coming out that Darren Moore was confirmed as Sheffield Wednesday manager behind the scenes on the Friday, the day before he was set to take charge of the Ipswich match, which ended up being the last game in charge for Rovers. So he got told to take charge of the team on a day after confirmed as Sheffield Wednesday manager. So it's like he didn't even want to try, to be honest.
No,
and we could see that in the last 10 minutes of the match because if people watch the highlights back, you'll know for the last 10 minutes of that match we were playing like we didn't want to get a second goal and get at least a draw out of it. We were just playing in first gear. We were just passing the ball about, no urgency, and it felt like everyone had given up, to be honest.
Right. Well, this will probably go better now, actually, this one, because this was something you said to somebody in the stream at the end, and everybody. Here we go.
So it will be rearranged. Who is this plonker?
Well, this plonk is going up, and this plonk is going to the Championship.
Yes, right, okay. So somebody was calling you a plonker in the stream, and you very boldly predicted that you were going up and you were going to be in the Championship. So Do you think really? I mean, joking aside, Darren Moore leaving you after the time he came on our stream has probably been the thing that's done Doncaster. Would you say? Or would you say, more importantly, losing your midfielder to Preston North End in the January transfer window? Which of those two things would you say was?
There's a combination of about 4 or 5 things. Darren Moore leaving is one of them. Ben Whiteman's another. Injuries at the worst possible time is another one. Players giving up without the towel being thrown in mathematically, that's another one. And the final one would be the board admitting their mistakes. And the board they came out with a club statement in April, and they admitted they over-relied on loans. They admitted that, and they said they were going to do things right behind the scenes in the summer, going into the new management next season. So, but it felt that the big factor here, we can't just blame Darren Moore and Ben Whiteman for leaving. The rot set in when Darren Moore was here for the last few games. The rot was in then already, and there was no going out of it. We only got the one draw out of those 5 games, and the rest of them were losses. And the players playing under Andy Butler were just throwing the towel in, especially the loanees and the people out of contract this summer. They weren't trying, they weren't putting an ounce of energy in. And the one thing there's things this season that really annoyed me, but the one thing that really tipped me over the edge was the 4-1 loss against Wigan, where players actually put the goal we scored up on their Instagram pages to promote that they scored a goal in that game. It was like they didn't even care about the result. They just wanted to put goals on their Instagram stories. And it was like, well, who actually cares in this squad?
Gurney said I'm being very cruel, so I'm going to stop now. I'm only having a bit of fun with him, Gurney. We're not being cruel, so we're not having cruel stuff, but we're just reminding us some of the things he said back then. But as football fans, at that time, when the match was called off, Doncaster were flying. They had games in hand, didn't they? And they looked like they could go top if they won the games in hand. So I suppose it's been pretty.
I think as soon as my curly hair got chopped off, I realised the situation we were in.
So it's all down to you having your haircut. Is that what it was? Do you think?
I realised where we were.
So you're coming, obviously tomorrow. The game's tomorrow night. It's a game that we really want to win, obviously, because it would cement our place in the playoffs for sure. We're not there yet. If we get beaten in the last 2 games and results go against us, we could fall out of the playoffs. So that's how tight it is. We just need 1 point. So we just need a draw, but obviously Blackpool fans will be wanting the win. Doncaster haven't looked, I was looking at your results of late, and you haven't looked like you've been playing very well at all, but you managed to get a win on Saturday. What sort of team are we going to be expecting tomorrow, Aaron, coming to Bloomfield Road, would you say?
I'd be expecting the team that drew with Peterborough and relegated Rochdale. I'd be expecting Taylor Richards in a 4-4-2 on the wing, opposite Jason Lakilo. I'd be expecting Smith and James to start in the midfield. I'd be expecting a forward partnership of Okanabiri and John Jules coming back. It'd be first opportunity to see John Jules against Blackpool. I'd be expecting, if James is in the midfield, I'd be expecting Brandon Halton at left back. I'd be expecting Joe Wright at right back. I'd be expecting Butler and Anderson in the defence. The manager in the defence with Anderson, the captain. And I'd be expecting Lewis Jones in goal because Balcom's only just got back in training. It doesn't look like after the mistake against Accrington, which we will not describe, it looks like he won't play a part in this season again. So I think I would have said we expect Coppinger to start, but I've just got this feeling that he'll start against Peterborough on his last ever game for Doncaster Rovers. I think he'll start that game instead and get 90 minutes.
Is this definitely his last game then? His last season? He's not doing anymore?
He did an interview for the EFL Awards because he won the Sir Tom Finney Award for the EFL Awards this year, which is like the Lifetime Achievement Award. And he said that, he's called it quits now. This is calling it a day. 17 years of club history is over. 800 appearances over, and it's Peterborough at home's the last game for him, and I'm going to be going down to the Keepmoat on Sunday morning. Be there for when he comes to the Keepmoat for the last time, because I think hundreds of thousands of Rovers fans will be there, and I'll be one of them because he's all I've grown up with. I grew up with James Coppinger being at the club. Scoring his first. I was there at Bellevue when he scored that first goal in 2005 against Man City in the Cup and knocked them out 3-0 on penalties, and he was one of the penalty scorers. So, that first goal's stuck with me. The last minute winner at Griffin Park in 2012, that's something that always stuck with me. And it's going to be very weird to see a Doncaster Rovers without James Coppinger, because it's all I've ever known. But I think the plus side to it is that, he's the last of the John Ryan era, the Dare to Dream era that, brought this club so much success in a short space of time. I think we're entering a brand new era next season with obviously the new manager coming in, the new set of players. But I think we're entering an exciting new era next year. And it's Coppinger was part of technically the Lampard and Terry generation. They were part of that golden generation of modern players in the noughties. And, I think it's going to be very, very sad, but we move on, and hopefully it's exciting eras ahead.
So you were talking, I'm going to remind people who don't know, but Aaron used to come on the Football Vloggers podcast quite a lot, and of course he was telling us all about these managers that were coming in. We were talking about Rafa Benitez, and who else was on your hit list that was coming to Doncaster that you had high hopes for? Can you remember?
Frank Lampard was
Frank Lampard.
He's on the bookies still, funnily enough.
Really? Have you heard any news now on managers? Is there any sort of anything in the pipeline? Can you tell us? Because at the moment, who's in charge at the moment? Just tell everybody. I mean, for people that don't know, you had a manager called Darren Moore, and he was poached by Sheffield Wednesday, which I thought at the time was a very strange move for him, because he was going to a club that was virtually relegated, had points deduction. We all know that's very hard to get a team out of a points deduction. They've still not down, are they? They've got a last chance on the last game of the season, but it looks like he's going to be coming down with Sheffield Wednesday back into the league he was in. So it didn't seem a great move to me, really. And they're a bit of a car wreck club as well, aren't they? Sheffield Wednesday. There's all sorts of financial problems. So tell everybody about why he went. Did Doncaster Rovers fans, has he said anything, or did he just go and just kind of had to? Because he took his backroom staff as well, didn't he? Not only did he go, but he took the backroom as well.
Yeah, the assistant manager Jeremy Smith left as well, and I mean, since the interim manager's been here, we haven't even had a proper official assistant manager. It's been our goalkeeping coach being the man on the touchlines while Butler's been on the pitch. So we've had Paul Gerrard, our goalkeeping coach, there watching over the sidelines. So it's been very much a temporary thing for the rest of this season. I think the board, as soon as Darren Moore went, the board said in their club statement back in April, they had 72 hours after he left. They didn't have much time to appoint a new manager straight away. They had, they wanted to bring in someone straight away. And funnily enough, to be fair, I was speaking before the Portsmouth match, Butler's first game in charge, with Ian Danter from TalkSport, and he said it was a good continuity appointment. And I really did agree with him. And, I've said all along during the bad results for the last 8 weeks, it's not been Butler's fault. It's been the players that have given up on him. He's been trying to put out the right teams, and the only thing he'd work on was to make the right substitutions, because that's been, one part of his management that I didn't agree with. But, he's a temporary manager. He's, he was there to see out the rest of the season before the new manager came in. And overall, I think he's been thrown under the bus quite a lot, and I'll stick up for him. And I'm one of the people that'll stick up for Andy Butler, because I think he's been thrown under the bus, and the board have admitted their mistakes, and they're going to rectify that next season.
I've just put something on someone's picked up on what you were saying there. You mentioned hundreds of thousands of Rovers fans, and Gurney's reckoning you're more deluded than he thought you were.
Trust me. There's generations of fans that are still here today that are willing to travel down to the Keepmoat Stadium in a COVID secure way to say goodbye to a 17-year club legend. Trust me.
I've just posted a link in there for one. Has that gone in?
Yeah, it's gone in.
Yeah, okay, so that's for Charlie of One Rovers Vlog. If you want to come in, there's a link there for you. Mark Potter says, when is Ronaldo signing for Donny? I think that's tongue-in-cheek.
If we can get a Portuguese guy from the third division that's similar style of player, then that would be a great idea.
That would be fine, wouldn't it? Let's just go through these things. Nick Miller's an Ipswich fan. He says 1 point. He's seen Ipswich blow it many times, so it's not a given to all those that think it is. It's not yet. We've got to do it, haven't we? Rodney Bint, however, says that he thinks we can lose both against 1-0 and still be in the playoffs, so no worry. So he can't see the other two teams catching us, because obviously they've got to win to catch us. But it's not there yet. Mark Porter says, you can see Donny game being a bit of a banana skin tomorrow. Glad we're almost there, so there's people worrying about it. Lonely Fish says, fair play to Coppinger. Didn't know he'd been with you for so many years. Adam Clark is back. He says, let me ask, what can Blackpool do better in the Championship with better football? And looking at Hull and Peterborough, beat both of them, I think we are more ready than ever. Well, I also think, with regards to if, and these are all ifs, buts, and maybes, we're certainly not in the Championship yet. We're not in the playoffs yet. But if we did get up into the Championship, I would see them strengthening in January. So it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same team. Exactly the same team. It would have strengthened. So I would imagine we'd be a stronger team going into the Championship. I would hope so, anyway. Christian Wilson.
I was going to say, I think Blackpool are better prepared off the field to go into the Championship as well, because I think you've got finally an owner that cares after you've been under that reign of terror for years. So I think Blackpool off the field are better. And, if you can keep hold of Jerry Yates if you go up, then that'll be a big coup for the... That's like a new signing for Blackpool, keeping hold of Jerry Yates, because he's got so much interest.
He has. It's going to be hard, especially with him scoring another couple of goals. I'm just sending a link through to Charlie, so hopefully you'll get that.
But I think mathematically our playoff. I mean, we were still mathematical for sixth place, funnily enough, until Portsmouth beat Wimbledon 3-1. So we were, even though we won, we were mathematically out of the race, which we knew anyway for weeks. But we were mathematically out of it now. So we won football next season.
Yeah, you've been close for a while. You have had games in hand, but the results just haven't gone your way. Dapper is here saying he couldn't pop on this evening. Sorry, but he's going to come on just pre-stream tomorrow. Dapper, so I'll have him on tomorrow. He could
hopefully see you at the Keep Moat on Sunday, 18 Dapper. Hopefully see you at the Keep Moat on Sunday for a cup and just send off.
He says he's only kidding. Aaron, and fair play to you for voicing your opinions in the first place and coming on when it didn't quite work out. It's very brave for you to come on. Before I ask you what your prediction is, what's happened here? Yeah. Before I ask you what your prediction is, I remember back in the day when you came on, this was your prediction of how you were going to get the 3 points. Do you remember this?
Can't find a way to reschedule this because you guys were the ones that didn't prepare the pitch. I've got a feeling we're going to get the 3 points on forfeit, which is not a good way to win 3 points. But if we do go up, thanks to those 3 points automatically, then I'm not going to complain.
No, you. Yes, you weren't going to complain that you were going to get gifted the 3 points on a forfeit. Well, it's not quite worked out that way for you. You haven't got 3 points on a forfeit. So, what do you think tomorrow? What's the feeling in Doncaster? Do you think it's going to be a win tomorrow? Do you think you can beat Blackpool?
I think overall, I think in general, scoreline out the way, I think the feeling going into this game and going into the last game on Sunday is just do the best you can, put your all in, and no matter the result, we'll applaud you off the pitch for it and just see the rest of this last season for Coppinger out with a bit of pride because, it's been a massive fall from grace. Hopefully the win against Rochdale can take us into a nice bit of form. And, the draw against Peterborough beforehand was a nice result. But I think it's just seeing out the season with a bit of pride, to be honest. So, but I'd like to see us get the 3 points because I think we're on a nice run. And like people said, it's a banana skin match. It could be the Achilles heel, but you might not even have to confirm playoff places by winning yourselves. Charlton could beat Lincoln. So.
Yeah, they could. Anything could happen. Mark Potter saying, yes, well done, Aaron. True supporter, facing the music when it all goes Pete Tong. Well, just casting my mind back, actually, to when we played Doncaster at the Keep Moat, and we were 2-0 up at half-time, and then our wheels fell off in the second half, and you came back to beat us 3-2. We had a penalty shout that was never given, and the last kick of the game, which you probably remember, handball in the box. The referee just seemed to go very strange on us in that second half, but you came out winners. So we have a little bit of fear of Doncaster, obviously, because you did that to us when we were strolling the game at half time, which probably you remember. It was just all Blackpool, and something happened at half time, and you came out like world beaters and tore us apart. And so we're certainly not seeing this as a given 3 points, even though you have gone off the boil recently, haven't you?
We had I think our form was no wins in 9 at one point during that bad run of form, and I think Barton could have been finished above us, and the fact that we were a point off the top at Christmas and they were bottom of the league, and Barton nearly finishing above us in the league by the end of it that would have been an embarrassing situation. No offense to Barton, because they've been brilliant, but it would have been embarrassing for our point of view. But no, I think I cast my mind back to that result, and it was that's the kind of pride that I want to see in the squad tomorrow. That's the kind of passion I want to see in Coppinger's last 2 games. I want to see us go out with a high and, see off another emotional, historic moment for the club. There's been loads of historic moments in the club, and this will be one of them on Sunday. So, I want us to get that momentum going into the Sunday game to see our legend off with a high. And, the pride and the passion and the shirt that we had in the 3-2 win, I want to see that tomorrow night. But it should be an interesting game, really interesting. But there's a few players you have to be wary about.
Yeah, there certainly is. Sean P saying 3-0 to the Pill tomorrow, a comfortable win. Cyber Leaders here. Hello, Cyber Leaders. A West Ham fan is telling me that they're playing Burnley, so they're doing very well, West Ham at the moment. They really are. Eugene McGee says that the 2 games for Blackpool is a must-win against Doncaster Rovers and Bristol Rovers this Sunday lunchtime. It is really, we need to be going, to Blackpool fans who are watching this, Blackpool needs to be going into the playoffs in form. We don't want to be limping in. We want to be going in winning. So, we expect, he won't be putting any, be putting his best players in. We've got a few players back in. Marvin Tetta's back from injury now. Keshi Anderson had 5 minutes on Saturday, so there's a few players coming back. So it's going to be a stronger team than there's been for a while. So
and we've got some new players for you guys to face up with as well.
Right, okay. We'll just go through them quickly after this. Bradley Jones, I'm a Bury fan, but I hope Blackpool go up. You all deserve it. Thank you very much. And, commiserations to Bury. And it's, we're all pretty upset about what's happened there, and we hope you come back in some way or another.
But I like the Phoenix Club. Phoenix Club. They've done really, really well with themselves.
Yeah, Sean is also saying that they'd like to see, hope to see Bury back in the Football League soon. And I think everybody, every football fan across the land would agree on what's happened at Bury is an absolute disgrace. It really is. And I think these rogue owners and, people that cost fans, their lifetime thing. The only thing I always think about if Blackpool, because it was looking at one time that Blackpool were going to go out the same way. The Oysters would seem to be taking us out the trap door. And I kind of felt if Blackpool had folded and came back to the non-leagues, it would be a great journey back, where you'd win everything and keep getting promotion. A bit like AFC Wimbledon, a fantastic story in the end. And you go and visit all these lovely non-league grounds that are just ace. They really are. They're really nowhere.
And even since Barry, it's not even stopped. They've not even done anything about it. You look at Southend, 101-year Football League history's gone. And it's because of Ron Martin, the chairman.
Terrible, isn't it? It's shocking what's going on down there. Tables, Athers and Chair says, he'll take a point and wrap Jerry in cotton on Sunday, safe and sound for the playoffs. Is that what Blackpool fans think we should do? We should wrap him up, or should we just try and get this 3rd spot and try and get, go into the playoffs flying? Adam Clark says, hello Lee, what happened to the FVP? It's still going. I've subscribed to the channels. At the moment, it's just been put on hold because there was, it wasn't really going, I couldn't seem to grow any bigger than it was, and things were getting tight at the end of the season. I wanted to concentrate more just on the Blackpool stuff, and a couple of people couldn't make it and couldn't, I did a couple of things. I think we did one where there's just me and you for the first 10 minutes just on the FVP, and it was a bit stressful.
Yeah,
so.
and I had a tight budget, so I couldn't improve the quality of where I was streaming from until obviously now.
Yeah, no. So it was all just a little bit awkward, and so at the moment it may be back. We may do some things during the Euros or something. If we get together. But at the moment, I've been concentrating on Blackpool because of our run into the playoffs and the fact that was becoming a bit more important. I felt for the people, because most of the people coming to the stream are Blackpool fans anyway. Come on. So I seem to think I'd be better talking about Blackpool at this moment in time. Samuel Stirrup says, do you reckon Simon will spend if we go up? Yeah, I'm absolutely convinced he will sign.
I've got confidence in your owner. I've got 100% confidence he cares about the club, so I've got confidence.
Yeah. I have actually, if Charlie's watching, I have actually sent you a link on Twitter, Charlie, to your Twitter if you want to come in. Otherwise, we're going to get off probably soon. Sean P is saying, keep playing our strongest team and keep the momentum going. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You have to go into the playoffs in a winning mentality, I think, and to start wrapping players up in cotton wool. I know he could get injured. You've just got to hope he doesn't. But I think you've got to play your strongest side and have that side going into the playoffs in form, in a great frame of mind, because that is the only way to win the playoffs for me.
And I'll be watching the playoffs in my spare hours, so I'll be cheering all the teams on as a neutral and just hoping for a good game of football. Yeah,
will you be watching the Euros as well this year? You're going to be doing some Euros.
I'm going to be doing coverage of the Euros on my channel. So yeah.
Right. Great stuff. So tell me about these players that we're going to see tomorrow. That are new players you just hinted at before. Who are they, and what are they, and what positions are they in?
In terms of new players, obviously there's a mix of new signings and homegrown talent that you guys haven't seen yet.
Right.
So in terms of homegrown talent, there's 3 to look forward to in particular if 1 or 2 of them come on. Brandon Horton, AJ Greaves, and Lewis Jones. Now, Lewis Jones has been our pretty much our goalkeeper, our main goalkeeper since Butler took over as manager. 22 years old, homegrown from the Doncaster area. Talk to him, off camera. He's a lovely, lovely guy to speak to, by the way, as well as Greaves and Brandon. And my God, that guy's made excellent saves, and the quality shows. Like when Jones has been there, he only made 1 or 2 mistakes in the whole time he's been in goal this season, and that was against the Oxford in the 3-0 win. But we didn't have many of our first teamers then. We had loads of injuries back then. But Jones, apart from that game, was faultless. And Greaves, a young up and coming midfielder, right back, signed a new deal with a further year extension possibility as well recently. And he's like the Conte of this team. He's like, and what I mean by that is he's physical, and it don't matter how old or young he is, he's not afraid to get into tackles, and he's not afraid to put studs up and get away with it. So he's a really physical player, and he's someone you've got to watch out for in case he starts. And Brandon Horton, man, left back, amazing young talent, one for the future if Reece James walks at the end of the season for free. Obviously, one man who's been in form the last couple of games that would be nice to see start again, Jason the Kilo. Obviously the last couple of games against Peterborough and Rochdale, he's been a man possessed. He's been, it's just been wonderful to watch. He's, as soon as he got the second half performance against Peterborough under his belt, assisting one of the goals and getting involved with the second one. And, he came off the pitch and he said to the press, I was so excited to get back on form because it's been a difficult season. And then in Rochdale again, he was just a world-class man possessed again. So he's someone we've got to watch out for. Obviously, you guys haven't played against John Bostock yet. If he starts, it should be interesting. Obviously, he's been a physical player. He's a championship proven player. He's played in Europe. He's a former Premier League youngster. And it'd be great to see him if he starts and to see how he does. And obviously, John Jules was injured by the time that we were playing news the first time. So Tyrese
It'll be a tough game then, Aaron. That sounds like Blackpool fans are thinking this is going to be 3-0 walkover. It may well not be. Thank you very much.
John Jules is the most exciting Arsenal player. John Jules is the most exciting Arsenal player this season.
Right. Okay. Aaron, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for coming on and taking the banter and everything. I'm sure everybody on the stream will give you credit for that. And good luck for the kind of the rest of the last game, but I can't wish you good luck for tomorrow. Blackpool need to win it, so
it's going to
enjoy next year in League One. We may still be there with you. You didn't get the dream you wanted, but thank you very much.
Well, I mean, I'm predicting 2-1 to us, but it may go 2-1 either way. And we go to the end of the season, and Sunday's going to be the emotional day. The result on Sunday against Peterborough will be secondary to sending off James Coppinger. So, brilliant.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you very much. You take care, and we'll probably see you sometime during the Euros and everything. So,
cheers. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go. Now then, folks, we've got Charlie in now, who is one Rovers, folks. I thought I'd obviously let you come in on your own, then you can get a word in edgeways, because you know what it's like. It's hard to get in, right, Charlie? So for those people that don't know, Charlie is one Rovers blog. He's Bristol Rovers, and you've done very well with your YouTube channel. You've really bumped the numbers up this year, despite like going down. You know, despite what's happened. So tell us all about it, Charlie. What's gone wrong? Joey Barton, everything. He came in. It's just gone wrong. Tell us all about Bristol Rovers and what to expect on Sunday from you guys.
Yeah, well, it's obviously going to be an interesting game for you. You need a point, but me personally, I think you'll beat both of us. We've just gone downhill massively. I mean, it's been, obviously relegated 2 weeks ago after the loss against Portsmouth, but it's been coming for ages. If you ask any Rovers fan, they'll tell you, when you have, 3 managers in a season, that's one, sort of sign. It's just been going from bad to worse, really. Obviously Barton come in after Tisdale, didn't have obviously come in after the transfer window, so couldn't sign anyone. But the players, Barton's obviously made a lot of excuses and said a lot of different stuff. But at the end of the day, the players ain't good enough. We got rid of a lot of experience in the summer, and basically brought in a lot of players that were either not had much football playing, really young players that haven't played a lot, and it just hasn't worked out. And then it's just been awful, really. Really one to forget.
It's not been a good one, has it? I mean, at times, I've said this, I've said it to you before. We played Bristol Rovers at Christmas time, and you beat us. And I thought you looked a decent side. I couldn't see you going down, if I'm being honest. I just can't believe that you've just gone down in the way you have. It's just, even beating Accrington and Stanley, you were like your bogey side.
Yeah.
You even did that, and you still went down, didn't you? What's gone wrong, really, with it all? Because I thought at Christmas time you looked okay. I would have never thought you'd have gone down, to be honest.
Yeah, around Christmas time we was doing all right, but it was really after what made me thought we're in big trouble was our record against like the bottom 5 teams in the league. Especially after it was Joey Barton's first game. He was in charge for about a day, and we had Wigan at home, and we were awful, absolutely awful. Wigan, wanted it. They ended up getting a 93rd minute winner from shocking defending. And then since then, it's just all the big games. Like Wigan, they've turned up. They showed fight. They showed that they want to stay in the league, and our players have just rolled over. I'm shocked at professional players trying to stay up, and you see the fight from Wimbledon. You see the fight. Even Rochdale showed a lot of fight. Because they beat you as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
Rochdale.
They did. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
they really did fight. I think there was that one game where, was it Charlton away where you were 2-0?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that, because I thought, they've done it. They're away. You were 2-0 up. You were what went wrong? Because you lost 3-2. Did you lose 3-2 in that game?
Yeah. It was crazy because I was doing a stream for it, and we went 2-0 up. We were playing so well, and then it was about 5 minutes before about 10 minutes before half time, they go and score. It was a pretty good goal, but defending should have done a lot better.
Yeah.
And then literally 3 or 4 minutes before half time, they went 2-2, scored a free kick, and then
you got a man sent off, didn't you? Looking at this, you got a red card. Was that?
Yeah.
Was that before?
Our keeper got sent off after they scored their third. So game was already basically done, but just so many. Obviously the main thing that we've struggled for, although we've had Nicholson who scored a brilliant goal against you, we got him in the summer as a winger, and and us. I mean, me and a lot of Rovers fans hardly heard of him, but he's been probably one of our best players. But he's basically been playing as a striker, and all of our good play was going through him. And then I think it was about 2 months ago now, he got, I think it was after that Charlton game, he got announced that he'll be out for the rest of the season. And then since then, I mean, even before that, we were struggling to score, when, obviously a lot of people will, know Clark Harris, and he was at Rovers. And
yeah, sure, yeah.
We sold him for, 1.25 million about a week before the start of the season because he wasn't going to sign a contract. So we sold him, replaced him with Hanlon, who, I don't know, he has so many chances but can't score to save his life. I mean, there's a stat.
They'll probably get a hat-trick then on Saturday. Will he be playing on Sunday?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he'll probably be starting because
he'll probably bang a hat-trick in or something ridiculous after he tells he can't score.
I mean,
can't get Barton with a banjo is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it would be nice because, our form is terrible. We got 1 win in 13 games. Haven't scored in our last 4. Mistakes all over the place. Baldwin, who used to play for Sunderland, been terrible the last few weeks. I'm not really. I mean, it's gonna be funny in a way because and sort of saying goodbye to League One, if you will, because obviously I'll be my last stream of the season will be against Blackpool, and I'm not looking forward to it because I think you'll hammer us if I'm being honest.
Well, we'll be trying to. I'm going to be honest with you. We will be trying because we don't, we don't know. We're not there yet. We need one more point. Peterborough fan is in. Hi, Peterborough fan TV. Hasn't seen me for a long time, and the Posh are going up. Yes, we know you've done it, and we're a little bit frustrated at Blackpool because we dropped really over the last couple of weeks. We lost. We dropped 2 points at Lincoln when we were winning 2-0 with like 10 minutes to go. Then we got beat by Rochdale and Shrewsbury, which were both games you would have had down as wins. They probably bust a load of coupons. We had Sunderland home and away, which were the 2 games that we thought we might not win. Of course, we won them both. So we dropped 8 points. And if we just had those 8 points back now, we'd be just a point behind you if we win every one of these games. And it could have. Well, no, we would have gone. I think we would have actually gone above you, because they got a draw, didn't they? So we could have, with our game in hand, we could have actually gone above Peterborough. So playing you would have been, we would have needed to win to secure automatic. So we're all a little bit frustrated at Blackpool because over that season, we dropped so many points at the start of the season, and yet just these last couple of weeks, we've dropped some stupid points. We could have caught Peterborough, so it's quite frustrating really for us. He's asking what's happened to the FVP. I did explain that before, that at the moment, I've been concentrating more on Blackpool because more people come into the stream with Blackpool fans anyway, and I thought, let me just do some Blackpool shows as it's getting tight towards the end of the season. We'll probably bring the FVP back again sometime. We may even do some summer specials during the Euros or something, which could be quite good fun, couldn't it? Rodney Bint says, do I think any club will be after our manager next season? I don't know. There could well be. I mean, even Blackpool fans at one stage were calling for him to go. So I don't know. But when you look at what he's done in his first season as a manager, I think he's going to get better and better. I think in the end, somebody will come definitely after him. Unless he can get us in the Championship and in the Premier League, and who knows. But he's a very good manager. But he's still learning. He's still learning, and I think. I'm not sure if any club would take a punt on him just yet. I think he needs to prove himself in a few seasons, and then I think they definitely will if he carries on the way he's going. Sean P says he thinks they will let 4,000 into the grounds for the League One playoffs. I've heard that as well, so that's it's pretty much, and he thinks it's 10,000 for Wembley. But it's definitely going to be Wembley. It's going to be 10,000 because they're trialling out the Euros, aren't they, for that? HXO Alex is saying, I'm very happy my hometown team, Hull City, have won this league and are going back up, and I hope Blackpool can join us with Peterborough. Thank you very much, HXO. I hope you're right. It would be great, but there's a long way to go. But Blackpool do have a great record in the playoffs. But, that's not this team, and it's different years. So it all stands for nothing, really, at the end of the day. It's just a mental thing that Blackpool have won so many playoff finals. Paul Chris says, has everyone forgotten that Bristol Rovers fell into non-league some years ago? Did they not think this could happen again? What's your thoughts on that then, Charlie?
I mean, I hope not. But yeah, we were in the conference. What is 2014-15 season? I think it was. So yeah, not long ago at all. Then we got that was with obviously Darryl Clark. Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, obviously, yeah, that we were doing awful, and then he sort of come in. He was sort of assistant manager to the manager that was there. I think it was John Ward. I don't know if you've heard of John Ward.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. You play for Ipswich. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the manager at the time, and yeah, he got relegated. It sort of feels the same sort of vibe that that we need. It's like a very important summer ahead of us because there's so many players that need to go. There's so many players that need to come in. He's already, him and Barton and Clint Hill have already said about. They've already been looking at players. They want to try and get deals done early. He wants them in early for pre-season because he's been slating the fact that a lot of the players aren't fit. So he's been saying that. So yeah.
I think this is answering David Waller's question. He's saying, well, what do you make of the very public criticism that Barton has dished out to the players? Not surprised they don't seem to want to try for him. What do you think about this? Did the players deserve public bashing from Joey Barton?
A lot of fans were obviously doing it. Obviously, people have seen obviously the stuff he said, and like he's. I mean, to be honest, yeah, I think players do deserve it because there's been so many players just awful. Yeah. I mean, it can only stay in the camp for so long. I mean, apparently as well, Barton said that around 14. He said this 2 weeks ago. Around 14 of the players, when he come in, they were chewing tobacco.
Oh,
which is mad. Like it's meant to.
What, spit in a spittoon or something?
It's weird. Like, but there's
chewing tobacco.
There's been so much. Yeah, that's what he said. He said in his interview that he come in and his first day he come in, players were, which is meant. I don't know, but I mean, a lot of the players do deserve it. I think because it's been going on for so long, just not turning it up in big games. But I hope even it was funny our game against Crewe, like last home game on Saturday, a lot of fans went to the stadium and Barton come out afterwards, and people were actually no one was like slating him. He was like people was like having a laugh with him, and most of the fans are behind him because even though he has publicly criticised some players. They know, they trust, including me. I trust him and Clint Hill and hopefully the board because the recruitment in the summer was pretty shocking, and hopefully this summer is massive and we get the players we need because it is massive.
Oh, definitely. You don't want to do a Southend, do you? Southend got relegated last season and they got relegated again. So they've done like a double. It can happen where you do a double, and you don't want to be doing that because that could be way back into the conference, which is somewhere you just do not want to go, do you? So I imagine. No. So you need to definitely build and get some players in early. I totally agree with you there. Sean P says, we don't hear anything about this. Joey might be in prison next season. His trial must be coming up soon. Is there any mention of it in Bristol Rovers? Nothing. It seems like it's all gone very quiet. Yeah,
there's nothing at all. A lot of Rovers fans were saying that is he gonna, because obviously I don't know what's happened to it. It's all sort of died down because he wouldn't have. I think he signed a 2.5-year deal, so he wouldn't have signed it if I don't know what's happened to it because obviously it was bad that what he done, really bad, and he probably should be in prison for it, but it's sort of gone under the radar. It literally hasn't been spoken about once, but
no,
it's going to be
strange though. It's gone so quiet on it.
Yeah,
Mark Porter says that Barton's Well, there. Not there. Barton's mouth will destroy his fledgling managerial career. He is one of these. He is one of these very outspoken managers, isn't he? He's one of these that he's a bit Marmite, isn't he? He's one of those where some people really like him and some people won't like him. A bit like Warnock, who a lot of people don't like Neil Warnock, and I really like him because he's just he's a character. And I like characters in football. And so, what do you think of Joey Barton then? Good evening, Yusel Akar. I've just seen his message there, so I'll just say hi to you because I'll be posting 10,000 times if I don't notice it. So, good evening, Yusel. But what do you think of Joey Barton?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I sort of like the fact that he comes out. He's not one of these, I think that's what got him sacked at Fleetwood, though, wasn't it? The fact that he asked for like some money and he didn't give it, and then he had to go at the owner and stuff, and but yeah, me personally, I like him, but hopefully he can. It's a massive season next season. Obviously, pretty much favourites to go up as well. So a lot of the pressure is going to be on us. And he said that he wants to get rid of all these losers in the changing room. Now, literally, that's what he said. He said
because they are losers. He's calling a spade, isn't he? There, they have been losers, haven't they? They've lost so many games, so they're certainly not winners, are they? In his changing room. So
yeah, exactly. A lot of there's a lot of this. It's just what like you've seen. This season we could, if we lose against you on Sunday, we'll have 28 losses out of 46 games. So that basically sums it up. And he's already said he's been looking. He wants to get a lot of the players out. He wants winners. He wants, because that's obviously ultimately what you need and want in any club is winners. And just even like experienced players, that we've had this year, just making mistakes like Bolwin and Max Ema. A lot of fans, have said about Ema. He was a decent player at Gillingham. Well, at Rovers, he's been our worst player, and that's why he was left out of the team and stuff. So yeah, it's a massive summer ahead. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, and like he said, he wants to get players in for pre-season early. He wants a fit team because he said the players aren't fit either.
Right.
And yeah, so big season next year.
What did you think when the appointment was announced, Joey Barton? What was the feeling in Bristol then? Were you all thinking, this is it, this guy's going to turn it around? And has it been like a major disappointment, or were you just not sure? When he came in, thinking Joey Barton, is he good enough? What was the feeling?
Yeah, me personally, he was my first choice. I was pretty buzzing with it. To be honest, it's sort of been like, what would be the percentage? I'd say 70% like the appointment and still want him. But 30, there's been so many I've seen, especially sort of in the past week, a lot of Rovers fans are coming out, especially on Twitter. I've seen it. I'm not seeing it so much on, the pages on Facebook, but on Twitter, I've seen a lot of fans come out and saying, fans are still saying that even if like fans are allowed back, they won't go. They still won't go because of Barton, because of the person who he is. But yeah, most of the people, most of the fans, want him, and hopefully, it's going to be successful next season.
Well, let's hope so for you. Ian Barron has just put something that might give you a bit of hope. He says he thinks Joey Barton has paid compensation. It's been dealt with, so maybe that's why we're not hearing anything about it. So maybe that will be fine. And I think Joey Barton actually is a decent manager. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think he's a bit of a hothead. I think he gets, I do think he says the wrong things, and his temper goes, and he does see the red mist, because he did as a player. It's just, it's in him, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've just got to be prepared to know that he can get himself sent off, and he can, he can. But you can imagine he's a scary manager to play for. I'd imagine, if he's on your back, imagine he's quite a scary guy. Oh God, yeah, Yusali is back on again, isn't he? With his his Turkish in his mouth. Yusali, you've either got to stop doing this spamming the chat, or we are going to have to just block you on this site. What's this? Riley Taylor, Chelsea FC fan. Oh God, he is. Okay, I'm sorry, Yusali, but you're going into timeout because I just can't cope with all the amount of spamming he does. It never stops. We need you to survive Blackpool.
Survive?
What does he mean? You're talking to Bristol, or we're going for the playoffs, Riley? I don't know. I know you're on Chelsea FC fan. You might not be following, but Blackpool going for the playoffs, so we're definitely going to survive. And we've got a new owner who's pretty wealthy, so we don't seem to have much trouble with money. And they're looking at expanding the ground and finishing it off and doing the stand that you. Have you been to Blackpool, Charlie?
Yeah, I've been. I mean, that's. I was gutted. As start of the season, or before all this was out. Blackpool. We was all buzzing for it. Last game because I've been.
Fancy dress, come do the pleasure beach, make a weekend of it, all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty decent because our away form isn't the best against you, but our form in general against you is good. I remember, I think it was 2 seasons ago when I think we beat you 3-0 away, and it was on my. I think it was 3 years ago. We beat you 3-0, and it was on my birthday as well. But now, that was when we had leaders and decent players. But now, even now though, apparently I've spoken to a lot of Rovers fans. People were already booked up, to go to Blackpool.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And people are still going to go out there, but
they're going to stand outside the ground and cheer, because there's quite a lot of Blackpool fans that go. There's a lot of Blackpool fans are talking about going and standing outside the ground and cheering from outside the ground, because obviously the players can hear it inside, even if they're not there. So a few people have asked me if I'm going, but obviously I can't go because I'll be doing the live stream watch along. So I can't be in two places. I can't be outside the ground cheering and also doing a live stream for everybody. Just very quickly, Riley Taylor, Chelsea, he says Blackpool FC survive and stay in League Two. Well, we're in League One, Riley. We're in League One. We're not in League Two, and we're going. We need a point to go into the playoffs to go in the Championship. So I don't quite understand what you mean. Unless you're talking to Bristol Rovers, Charlie, who's here, he's getting relegated.
We're going to League Two.
He's going to League Two, and if you mean you want him to survive and stay in League Two, then I get it. Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, right? But anyway, that's Chris Graves thinks Barton's a thug. He deserves everything he gets, and I think he will destroy Bristol Rovers. Well, he didn't destroy Fleetwood, did he? He didn't destroy them. So
no, he's not going to. I mean, it's just gonna be interesting because obviously this, like I said with him, he coming after January, so he didn't have any. He didn't have a chance to sign players, so it's going to be interesting what happens in the summer with players coming in and who can he attract. Because I should imagine even in League Two he can, because we've got the training ground looks amazing. Obviously, the stadium ain't the best, but we're sort of. I mean, obviously we're not that big, but we're sort of a decent sized club. We get quite a lot of fans. We take good. Away following, so hopefully him and Clint Hill and they can try and attract some players and see what happens. It's all going to be based really on next season where we finish, but it's going to be hard because some people would say, oh yeah, Rovers should be easily getting out of the league, but we're going to be having a lot of ins and outs. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be. In many ways, I'm not in a nasty way, but I'm kind of glad you are sort of down now because I was kind of dreading this Sunday coming up because I knew it'd be you, obviously, and I've been doing lots of things with you. I'm thinking, oh God, we're going to be playing Charlie. If we relegate, if this is the game and we need to get in the playoffs and we relegate you, I'm going to feel really bad. You know what I mean? But it doesn't really matter now. You're not bothered if we smash you 6-0 because it doesn't make any difference, does it, to you really? You're down already. So it's just, I don't know whether you'll have a full team out, whether whether just put a lot of kids out for it. I'm not really bothered with it, to be honest. I'm Blackpool fans are kind of hoping that that's the sort of team we play where you just don't really care anymore. It doesn't really matter. We don't want one of these games where, you're down anyway, so you play, with no pressure on you, and just, we've got all the pressure on us. So that's the only thing. Riley Taylor, Chelsea fan now, says get fans back to Blackpool FC and stadiums across the England. I couldn't agree with you more on that. It's, we need to be back in these grounds, and I can't understand. I just don't get why we can't have 4,000. We did an experiment. We had 2,000 in, and the social distancing was so. Bluefield Road, the whole 16,000, 2,000 in, it's nobody in the stadium.
Yeah.
You could have a row to yourself most of the time. So I just don't get it why they've not allowed, a percentage of fans to go in, because you can social distance at that. But, I suppose at the end of the day, people are still dying from it and all the rest of it. So, you've got to think of that as well, haven't you? Mark Porter says, tell the Bristol Rovers chairman not to tell Barton anything confidential, because when he gets sacked, he'll dish the dirt on Radio Bristol like he did with the Fleetwood chairman. So there you are. Beware. Beware. He will dish the dirt. I was always thinking, as a player, if you were looking to go to a club and there was like, I'm just, like Roy Hodgson, say, for instance, or Roy Keane. You had to choose between which of those managers you'd like to play under. You think like Roy Hodgson would be really nice and look after you, wouldn't you? Nice. And then you think like Roy Keane, would I go and play for him and get the hairdryer treatment every match? And I sometimes wonder if players think, God, Joey Barton, do I really want to be in a dressing room with Joey Barton, like ripping my ear off every game? Or do I want to go to a club with a really, Nigel Atkins or something? You could never imagine him shouting at anybody, could you really? He's just so nice a guy, isn't he? And, I imagine with Critchley as well at Blackpool, he's another one that I can't see him ever really losing it, to be honest. Jane calls him a Vulcan because he just doesn't have any emotion. He never shows any emotion at any time. So she reckons he's actually a Vulcan. So, which is probably a good trait to have, actually, where you don't get upset or depressed, or angry over things. Because God, if you saw my Sunderland stream at the end, I was screaming at it. This last 10 minutes.
Tell me about it. This season, literally the only good thing about this season is, obviously meeting other people like you and loads of, where I've been on, other fans' channels and literally just people, liking the content. Apart from that, the football, every stream, I've looked back at some of, when we've conceded and stuff, the amount of, swearing and just awful football. But
yeah,
that's what it is, let's hopefully next season can be a bit more happier.
Yeah, we've Jane and I say all the time that since we've started doing this and we start meeting like fans from other clubs, we'd never meet. You just never met the away fans before. They were just like the enemy, weren't they? Coming to your ground, you're hating them, are you? Know what I mean? You're like, these, singing songs at us and all this. You just hated them. But as we've done this, the live streams and the watch-alongs, and we've done the FEP, and have met people like you and chatted to fans before they get, and all that sort of stuff. And I've realised that really we're all just, we're all just pretty similar, aren't we? None of us down here, we're not the Man United glory hunting fans of the world. We just follow our clubs. We get a bit of joy, every so often, but we don't get the FA Cup every year or some other cup or into Europe. We don't have that life, do we, that they have. But there's something more real to it. I find more of an affinity with all you guys than I ever would with Man United fans. You know what I mean? I wouldn't share the same sort of, same outlook on football. Yeah,
definitely. Just supporting, even with me, since I've been supporting Rovers, 2007 was my first game. So nearly 15 years. Yeah. Even all through all the good and all the bad times, I've now seen three relegations in 15 years. I've seen 3 or 4 promotions. But it just comes with it, doesn't it? The excitement, going to, see your local team and, like you said, when you meet people on air, that's the only good thing about all this lockdown and stuff is literally been YouTube and meeting other people, Yeah. So. Yeah.
I think you're fine with football. I've been a football fan obviously a lot longer than that, and I've seen lots of ups and downs with Blackpool. Mainly sort of, until until like 2000, where things really picked up when we got to Premier League, and all that 10 years before, it'd been pretty much, this kind of football all my life, really. I just, lower league football, and you just got the odd, you got the odd high, but at the end of the day, you still got wins. Even you've had a few wins this season. You know what I mean? It's not all. You don't lose every game, do you? So there is always something. And I always say, we were in the Premier League for a year, and it hurt me as much to lose to Arsenal like we did as it would to lose to you. You know what I mean? I wasn't playing Arsenal and watching Blackpool and thinking, oh, this is fantastic. We're playing Arsenal and we're getting beat, but isn't it wonderful we're in the Premier League? I was gutted. I was just gutted that Blackpool lost, and the losing in the Premier League was just as bad as losing in the Championship, just as bad as losing in League Two, and the winning is, feels the same. So football doesn't really matter where you are. If you're winning, having a good season, it's great. If you're losing, it's not. If you're in the Premier League and you're losing, it's not a good season. So it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You just enjoy it for what it is. I think that's all really that we can all do down here. Just hopefully one day get the dream. We just have that dream, don't we? That one day our club's going to make it. Ian Barr. I'll just post this up for Ian because he said, "Hi Charlie, I'm a Darlington fan. We were made bankrupt in 2011, reformed in 2012. We've had 3 promotions and now a fan-owned National League North club. We were demoted 4 leagues and they hit rock bottom. So there you are. So that's they've done amazing, Darlington, and Ian comes on my channel a lot, and they're actually now a fan-owned club, and they raise money. I think it's something they've raised 41 grand or something to help with players' wages and stuff, just the fans. So they're an amazing club. It is class that. Sean P is also saying, we had it with the Oysters. Ian, they nearly took us out of the league. Yes, they did. It was pretty scary. Sean P is saying, is you sell Aaron under a bogus name? He could be more. I don't think he understands English. He just keeps posting stuff about Besiktas. We'll have to go and see this Besiktas one time. Let's go over to Turkey, and you'll have to invite us over one time. You, Salam, will come and take in Besiktas. Is that how you say it? I don't even know how you say it.
Besiktas or whatever.
Besiktas, we'll have to come and see them. Whittaker says, Bristol Rovers side, if Lincoln draw and we win by 1 goal tomorrow, we'll have exactly the same stats, 1 drawn, lost and goal difference. That'll make for an interesting last day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, okay, yeah. So it could be, it would all rely on us against you to whether we can, if we beat you by a bigger goal difference on the day, we could go above Lincoln just on that. So that's another big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, me honestly, it was quite funny. This is like sort of, I was talking with my neighbour yesterday. My neighbour's a Bristol City fan, and obviously they're doing pretty bad as well. And we both said we might even, because they've got Brentford last game of the season, and we've got obviously you. And we were saying we might stick a bet on like Rovers and City both to lose 4-0. Because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Because obviously when we played you, I think it was Medine that scored. So Yates hasn't scored against us yet, and him this season. Personally, I really want Blackpool to go up because I'd just love to see them back in the Prem.
Thank you.
Prem, not Prem. Well, yeah, Prem.
Back at the Championship.
Yeah,
anyway.
Championship.
Yeah.
If you don't go up, which you hopefully you do go up, but that Yates to be gone because he is. What a signing he's been, mine. What a player.
The thing that's annoying me is they're talking about him. People have all. It's one of those typical things that people do with like little Blackpool. So immediately, they're talking about. People are coming. Looking at Yates. Looking at him. The club have put a £2 million fee on him. And then you look at like Peterborough and then their lad that they've got there. They've got 10 million slapped on him. And I know which one I'd have.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'd go for Jerry Yates. I think he's just unbelievable. And you're thinking, they want 10 million and Jerry Yates is 2 million. We sold Brett Ormerod in around about 2000, I can't think it's 2001, for 1.75 million. And that was like 20 years ago nearly. So when you're talking, and it was like, they bought in Southampton, took him out of League One. He was in League One. So and we'd only just got promoted into League One from League Two, and he went for like 1.75 million. Talking about Jerry Yates, 2 million. I mean, what do you get for £2 million today? It's
literally nothing because
it's nothing. Honestly, yeah. It really annoys me. I was just going to ask you actually. You were saying you'd like to see Blackpool back in the Premiership, but how did we have this perception of how people saw Blackpool when we were in the Premiership, because we know we became a lot of fans' second team, and we entertained him, and we like the little guys, and we had a team of nobodies basically, and we got fined for putting out players that were actually in our 25, and they fined us just because we made so many changes, but they were in our squad, you know what I mean? And they were saying you can't change your best players for weak players. We didn't even know who the best players or the weak players were, you know what I mean? You wouldn't have said Charlie Adam was a mega star or any of them at that time were, nobody, they were just nobodies. And they were saying, how can he change all these stars? We didn't have one player over £500,000. No, I think DJ Campbell was our biggest sign at 1.1 million, but that was it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're talking about these players like we changed out £30 million players, but we didn't. They were just nobodies. And I just wonder how you sort of thought of Blackpool when we were in the Premier League. Did you enjoy, that year? Did you see us as you enjoyed watching the way we played, the way we attacked the Premier League and just jumpers for goalposts, and we couldn't care less if we let in 4, we try and score 5 and that sort of stuff. What did you think?
Oh yeah, it was class. I mean, it was. I mean, the best bit was. I still remember now. Obviously, it was quite a long time ago. I was obviously a lot younger, but I still remember it. I was so into football, but it was the best bit before obviously you went up was the playoffs with DJ Campbell. When you had Forest away and you had
the hat trick away in the semi-finals.
And then that it was that goal. It was that Adam free kick at Wembley. Oh my God! I mean. And Brett Ormerod won it, got the other goal. Yeah,
he got the third goal, which actually took us into the Premier League.
Yeah,
so,
and
we come back twice from behind.
Yeah, and it was brilliant. And then obviously in the Prem, because you had a Rovers legend as manager as well, Ian Holloway.
Yeah, of course, of course. I suppose you'd be rooting for us a bit then.
So
he was great, Holloway.
Yeah, but it was class to see. When you was. I think you had Man City at home, and it was like David Silva and Aguero. I think was there at the time because I think you
should remind us of that game actually, because that hurts me, that game, because we scored a goal. Gary Taylor scored a goal, and they ruled it out as offside, and he was onside, and they scored 2 offside goals. And they let them stand. They fouled Ian Everett, and they never give a foul. So they got 3 goals, really, that all could have been disallowed for a foul on Everett. And it still hurts me now, to be honest, that game, because we were just robbed. There was lots of times when we were robbed, but it was still, the memories will be there forever, you know what I mean? But yeah. Just very quickly, I'll just go to the last few comments before we get off. David Wallace has taken up your point, Lee. If I was an experienced player, I would think twice about going to play for Barton, knowing he'd happily hang me out to dry. He'd much prefer Critch, everything stays in house. Well, that's the one thing about Neil Critchley. He never, he's one of those managers that will not slate his players off. And we had Simon Grayson before him, and he was doing a lot of that, blaming the players, for things. And he was
Grayson.
Yeah, and it wasn't good. And a manager shouldn't really, really. I know it probably did need saying at the end of the season, and it is kind of the end of the season, but you don't want him saying bad things about the players during the season, because they can go, it can kind of backfire on him. Sean P says, Lee, have you got any more ex-players coming on the channel? The ones you've done have been excellent. Well, just to let you know, and you can kind of message as well. If you're watching this after this is on, we are doing, we've got an evening with Andy Morrell. We're interviewing Andy Morrell on Thursday, but he can't make it 8 o'clock. So it's not going to be live, so we're going to pre-record it. So if anybody's got any questions for Andy Morrell, who is another famous Blackpool striker who was actually partner with Keegan Parker, who I did last week. So Andy Morrell is going to be on. So that's who we're going to have on this week. So yes, we are doing more ex-players as and when we can get them. It's not always easy, to arrange things, but that's answering that one. Cyber Leaders telling us we're beating Burnley 2-1. That is very good. The LQ challenge is high. We're almost about to go LQ challenge, so we've nearly done it all. Ian Barron says that Paddy Manning went from Fleetwood to Vanarama National League side for 250k. He is on $5,000 a week in the conference. That's just
crazy, isn't it?
That is insane, isn't it? Why would you pay $5,000 a week in the conference?
Yeah, and it should be interesting because obviously we could be playing them because they're doing well, aren't they? They're in the playoffs, so should be interesting. I think I went Stockport once. I think it was 2010, 2009. They were in, was it League? I think it was League One.
Yeah, I mean, they are a big side down. They are a big side with a big ground down there. But even so, if they're playing £5,000 a week,
it's crazy, isn't it?
That's no wonder that. Honestly, it's no wonder that there's so much financial trouble in football. From the top down, they all just pay just way too much wages. That they can't afford really, and that's not just the conference. That's like every league. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's even with us because there's been two leaked wage of our players, what they're earning, and a lot of them are on $3,000 a week. $3,000 a week, and then you've got Accrington players. A lot of the Accrington players aren't even on $1,000 a week.
I know, yeah, I know they don't. No? Yeah, he runs around. I know it is 3,000 a week. It's you'd be all right on that, wouldn't you? Somebody offered you $3,000 a week to knock the ball around. But you've always got to remember it's it's a short career, and a lot of these players will never get to those heights of the $250,000 and a year and all that sort of stuff. But even so. It's just ridiculous with the conference that I just don't get that. Anyway, Sean P says Andy Morrell will be great, thank you. Mark Porter says 5,000 is a year's contract under the Oysters. Well, they used to get £90 a week in the summer, didn't they? They wouldn't pay him like full wage in the summer, the Oysters, but kind of a lot of it I agreed with, if I'm being honest. I think the money's daft. I think it's really daft. I still think it is. But thank you very much, Charlie. And
cheers,
I'm sorry you've gone down. We'll definitely keep in touch with you, even when you're down. You're down there. We'll keep in touch, and if I'm doing stuff, I'll involve as much as I can, because it's been a pleasure doing stuff with you. Cyberleader says I'm streaming tomorrow. Yes, I am streaming tomorrow. It's Donny tomorrow. But thanks, Charlie, and I'm sorry to. I'm sorry to see that you're dropping out of it. I know it's, I feel for you a bit, to be honest, and I'm just glad that we're not sending you down.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be back. Quick. Hopefully.
Sadly, saying what team is Charlie is Bristol Rovers. So we've got Bristol Rovers on Sunday. It's the last game of the season, but Bristol Rovers are already relegated. So. We're not going to be mean bags to you, even if we beat you 10-0. It doesn't really matter, does it? You're down there. So, go on, prediction for the game. Are you actually putting a bet on that 4-0 you're going to lose in Bristol City? It sounds a decent bet.
Yeah, I might have to. I'll say 4-0. Jerry Yates hat-trick and a goal for Ellis Sims.
Right, that'll do us. We'll take that. Blackpool fans will take that. Thank you very much, Charlie. Thanks for coming on, and thanks. Cheers. See you Sunday. You can come on the stream before. Just put you back. Oh, you've gone off. Your mic's gone off. You muted yourself, Charlie.
Yeah. What time do you want me to come on?
What time's the game kick off?
I think it's. I'm not actually sure. I don't even know.
I'm not sure either. Let's just have a quick look and just check. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be on at 11:30. We'll be on at 11:30. So if you want to come on, at 11:30 and just have a little chat with us, live to the stream and everything, then you're quite welcome.
Yeah, sure.
I'll send you a link through. Okay.
All right. Cheers.
Right. Thanks a lot. See you, Charlie. Bye. Right. So that's it, folks. That was the show. It's exciting times. I know a lot of fans have been celebrating already. You're kind of thinking we're there, but we're not there yet. We're just not quite there yet. We need a point. It's looking good for Sunday, though. If Charlie's Records is going to get beat 4-0, I think that we take that, wouldn't we? I think that sounds pretty good, and I do feel sorry for him. But at the end of the day, football's football, innit? We've got to put them away. Thanks very much for watching. Jane and I will be back here on, tomorrow night. We're back on at 6:30 for the watch along. And also, as I said earlier, we're going to be doing a chat with Andy Morrell, but we're going to be doing it in the afternoon, so it's not going to be going live. We'll just record it. So if you've got any questions, post them in the comments below, or tweet me them or whatever. It's at Lee Charles TV if you've got any questions you want to ask Andy Morrell. Other than that, we'll see you Tuesday, and then of course the big final game on Sunday, and then who knows? Playoffs. If we're in the playoffs, it could go on and on and on. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.